Hey everybody, I'm Pastor Jim Toon from Churchill Meadows Christian Church here in Mississauga, and thank you so much for letting me speak to you today, to come into your home through video. I've been told that I have a face made for radio, but unfortunately you're going to have to look at me and listen to me as well. I'm so excited about what God's been doing at Churchill Meadows, and especially the way that He's been using our congregation. You know, in Canada, when it comes to church plantings, fewer than 1 out of 10 church plants survive, and much less than that ever make it to the threshold of what we're doing now. And that is moving into a new building and embracing a new vision to impact our community for Christ. It's an exciting time. You know, sometimes I feel like when we're in the middle of it all, it's easy for us in our busyness and in our church life to lose sight of what God's actually doing. And I've taken some time recently just to reflect on the Churchill Meadows story and how awesome it's been, the good things that God's done for us. I feel like I'm walking through a new chapter of the book of Acts, and it's so very exciting for us all. Well, we're coming this weekend to the conclusion of our I'm In sermon series. We focused on our new vision, come, thrive, and go, and we focused on 4 big values that we're asking everybody to embrace, that they would embrace weekly worship in order that they might give glory and worship to God and meet in fellowship with others. We've asked each person to connect in small group fellowship as well, so that they're growing in discipleship with one another. We've asked everybody to make a commitment to tithe and to give generously to the work of God in their church, knowing that we never really give anything. We only return back to God out of the blessings He's bestowed upon us. And then we're asking people to find their area of strategic service, which means, you know what, sometimes it's just about moving the ball upfield and not so much about what position you play. It's an all hands on deck kind of thing that we're doing so that we can be as ready as possible for the next step that God has in mind for our congregation. And so I'm here today to invite you to be a part of that next phase. You know, Churchill Meadows began with just 12 people in my living room and has grown to a congregation of over 400 people. Can you imagine what would happen, what God might do if 400 people said, we're laying it at your feet. You're the potter, we're the clay, God. Take us and use us and do it again. And so I'm inviting you today to become part of a core group for our next phase, to say I'm in to Churchill Meadows Christian Church, and then give it your best and watch what God can do. So this Sunday in particular is a very special day. I hope you'll make it a priority to be there. We're looking for a big day attendance-wise, a celebration of what God's done through this series, and we're asking everybody to bring their most generous gift so that we can complete our building project on time and to the glory of God. So please do make that a priority for your Sunday this week. I've told the story before about the halfway house. It's a story about executives going on one of those fancy vacations, exotic adventure vacations. And it tells of a team of executives that began to climb a mountain in the Himalayas. It was simply a day trip, but it was a very rugged climb. And they all began the journey together with great spirits. But about halfway up the mountain, they came to a place where they broke for some refreshment and some hot drinks to warm up before continuing the second half of the trail. Well, after enjoying the fire and singing around the piano and some hot beverages in the halfway house, about half of the group decided to stay there while the rest of the group carried on up the mountain. And at first the ones who stayed behind thought they'd made the right decision. They were warm, they were comfortable, but after a bit of time, it began to sink on into them. There began to be sort of a settled melancholy that settled over them as they realized, yes, they were comfortable, but they would never have the satisfaction. They would never experience the goal of climbing the mountain like the other ones would. And sometimes, you know, when we've been at something as big as this for as long as this, I know that fatigue can come in and it's easy to feel like dropping out. And I'm just praying for you and asking that God will help you find that next gear so that you're energized to grasp and capture the purposeful future that God has for CMCC. Bottom line is we can't do anything without you. Without our volunteers, without our givers, without our tenders, these dreams don't come true at all. So I'm calling forth your best. I'm not embarrassed to do it. It would be my honor to lead you into this next era as a church. Let's dream big dreams to the glory of God. Again, thank you for watching this. See you on Sunday.